sẽ cơ để ok rồi nó cũng sản cái lần rồi về lúc nào giờ thọ tu lúc gì cô gì của là có của cái là có của tất cái dòng là có của chân này xe dòng là có của tất cả nên cũng một bánh của này để cụ hành mà rồi để quân tê cảm thấy nó bị cổ xe nữa họ cũng thọ là thì bây chỉ nhỏ như vậy cứ bây chỉ nhỏ hoặc bây chỉ quá chỉ họ phải thì thọ cũng có bây giờ chỉ đủ của các cháu lúc nào các cháu của xe của đây của nào chứ tôi đừng cái tôi chỉ sẽ được tao nó tao học cái buồn rồi thì sẽ được muốn nó học sẽ được tao kỹ bản mình tao kỹ sĩ buồn rồi tao kỹ sĩ lưu để cái tao ra theo nhiều của kỳ đầu tiên của chế không lúc số chế nó lúc nào cho cái tôi hay tao các cái phi rồi tao kỹ sĩ học tính tao kỹ sĩ trâu luôn ít tao cá tao kỹ thì trả lời là khé về nó chế chỉ nó sẽ là từ của nhà từ họ chỉ học chỉ do là họ có đặt đi cũng có thể là cái gì thì lo là biết của chú để sẽ cũng về đâu về của chú của cho.
Brother Paul Yang and his wife representing the Shonglu Temple. Next, our brother Mr. Sang-Su Moa, who is not here today, so we have someone in his representation, which is Steve Bang. Can you stand up? Next, I would like to say thank you to Mr. Chu Yang, representing Buddhism. And Mr. Yu Peng Chong from Hmongism. He's not here today, same as Pastor Mo Fu Mua. But all of our distinguished guests today, I wanted to say thank you for all of you for being here today as well. And I wanted to say thank you to our distinguished brothers and sisters, all the event planners, supporters, and our media, which is Paul Vang from Hmong Twin Cities News. Thank you for being here today as well. And also thank you to Hong Yang's member from the Shonglu Temple. Thank you for being here as well. And going forward, a little bit about myself. Many of you may know me and many of you may not know me. We're first time meeting each other today. I have joined this Family Federation Church since 1997. I was fresh out of high school at the time. I was blessed to my wife, Nancy Yang. Can you stand up? Since 2001. And I have 5 children. My children, can you stand up? And I have translated the first part of Divine Principle, which is this book here. I'm actually working with Hmong, her publisher, who will be publishing this book in large bulk volumes, which is the next publication. And I look forward to sharing that with all of you when it's completely published. Currently working on part 2. I've been working on that since 2019. It's a little harder project, but it's taken me a little longer than I expected. Currently serve as one of the community leaders in the Hmong community. I lead many family development projects to the community and also publish a book called Hmong True Love, True Family. It's a book all in Hmong language. Many of you have supported me and purchased the book, and I really want to thank you for that. And for those who have not get a copy yet, if you want to get a copy, you can let me know as well. Thank you for that. And this is my family picture. And we're going, so many of us may be wondering, why are we here today? Or what the purpose of coming together in this room today. And others may wonder, where are we going today? What are we going to do today? And as I mentioned earlier, the purpose of this workshop is to bring about peace and harmony to all Hmong faith that has been growing over the time in America and all over the world. Well, is it possible that we can unite? Is it possible that we can come together as one family? By George Herbert from 1640, there is a quote that says, "Where there is a will, there is a way." So as long as we're willing to do something, as long as we're willing to work toward prosperity, toward peace, toward a loving world, there's always a way, and we can do it. And many of you, I don't know if you have heard of the story called Blind Men and the Elephant, and I will talk about this story a little bit. So in the Blind Men and the Elephant story, it has a lot to do with our life today in terms of what we believe. So this is a story from India, and they have 6 blind men who cannot see, and they took them to touch the elephant. So one person touches the elephant's ear and said, "This looks like a rug," or "feels like a rug." The other one touches the elephant's trunk, and it says, "feels like a snake." One touches the elephant's tusk, and it says, "feels like a spear." And the other touches the elephant's feet, and it says, "feels like a trunk." The other person touches the elephant's side, and it says, "feels like a wall." And the last person touches the elephant's tail, and it says, "feels like a rope." They all touch the same elephant, and when they are brought together to have a conversation, it gets so heated up because they only see limited view of what they're able to touch. So our religion, our faith today is very much the same. We talk about the same creator, the same God, but we fight every day because we don't know the full truth. So the idea is to show that once we all can see the bigger picture, the full picture of who our Creator is, then we can come together with a total heart for unity and peace. So for the global faith, we have the Creator, we have the Christian spirit, the Muslims, the Hindus, Confucius, Buddhists, and we have the Hmong faith, and they're all faiths around the world. But for the Hmong faith, we have Hmong Christian brothers, sisters, Hmong Shanglu brothers and sisters, Hmongism brothers and sisters, Hmong Shamanism brothers and sisters, Hmong Buddhist brothers and sisters, and Hmong other faiths who are not registered or that we don't know that they're out there. So for the Creator, with all these different faiths, from Christianity, Shaman, Buddhist, Shangdu, Hmongism, and other faiths, we're all children of the same Creator. We're all children just like the parent is to all the children around the world. So when we have children, multiple children, they all come with different personalities, different traits, different features. They all think differently, behave differently, have different aspects, but they share the same parent. Therefore, we have different beliefs, but we share the same Creator. So it is very possible that we can come together as one family, one Hmong family. Well, if we look at this picture, there's a broken bridge. Why is there a broken bridge? Because we only know limited information based on what we're brought up with, what we're being taught. So we don't know what our neighbors are learning or what they're being taught. So there's a broken connection. So we have to come back together, bridge each other, learn from each other, so we can feel that unity once again. So by learning and becoming familiar with other faiths and continuing to learn about true family education, we can bring about true harmony to the Hmong community. Reverend and Mrs. Moon has pioneered in the industry of family development and global growth. They have blessed many marriages and have written a book called True Family Values. So all the brothers and sisters who have attended the Holy Marriage Blessing have studied the true family value. They want to live their life for the sake of a greater good. So by becoming true family models, they're being blessed. And there's also a book called World Scripture, which is put together by World Faith Religion, so that we can learn from each other's faith as to what does Buddhism have to say about this topic, what does Christian, or what does Shinto, or what does Confucius have to say about this topic. So there's a unity of the world faith religion coming together, reconciling, and doing religious works together. These are the pictures of our Hmong brothers and sisters from Thailand who are also being blessed in the same workshop. And with this picture, what do you see? In this picture, you see a bunch of people coming together, forming a bridge, and they're pulling people out of the water. So what I'm trying to illustrate here is that if we all can come together, build a family, build a strong family with strong values, regardless what we believe, we'll pull our brothers and sisters out of the river, out of the lake. No one deserves to be left behind. We all need to be saved. Through true family values education, Hmong faith groups can become a bridge that will embrace all of our brothers and sisters regardless of what they believe. And with this picture of the bridge, as you can see, there's so many pillars supporting the bridge. The meaning behind this is that if we all can come together, it takes all of us as a community to support those good values so we can raise good community. And that was my message for today. Thank you.
All right. Going forward, I would like to invite one of our brothers who is Dr. Dong. Okay, sorry about that. Before Dr. Dong, we're going to have a ceremony with a bowl or a pitcher, and all of our representatives will come together forward, and you will come as I call your name to the table, and we will give you a cup filled with water, and we will proceed from there. First of all, I would like to call our Buddhist brother, Chu Yang. Please rise. Come here. Second, I would like to call our next brother, representing Shaman, Steve Bang. Next, I would like to call our brother, Pao Yang, representing Xianglu. And lastly, I would like to call our local district pastor, Pastor Han. So the pouring of this water is a pledge to build a unity of all the Hmong religion or Hmong faith around the world and in our communities so that we all can become one family. You can pour. Beautifully done. Thank you for all our brothers, representatives of each faith, that we will build a total unity going forward, and this is only the beginning. Thank you.
Wow. Good afternoon, my brothers and sisters. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. 안녕하십니까? 안녕하십니까? 안녕하세요. 안녕하십니까? or 안녕하세요 is Korean greeting. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We say 안녕하세요 or 안녕하십니까? Do you know what does 안녕하십니까 means in Korean as a Korean greeting? Very interesting. Maybe you're surprised to hear that. 안녕하십니까 means, are you still alive? Are you still alive? Do you understand? Are you still alive? Why Korean people greet in such a way? Very interesting. Why every morning wake up and talk to their family member? Are you still alive? 안녕하십니까? Very interesting, right? Korea has a long history of 5,000 years, okay? However, there were more than 930 times war. That means once a 4 year have war. Can you imagine that? How much Korean people gone through incredible suffering. So many people sacrificed and died and injured because neighboring country invaded Korea, especially Chinese people, and then Japan. That's why when I think about Japan, I don't like Japanese. Because when I was young, I determined, Heavenly Father, if really God does exist, then I want to be a patriot. I want to be a patriot for the sake of my nation. Do you know what is my patriotism? When I grew up, then how can I kill more Japanese people? How can I kill more Chinese people? Koreans have really very difficult time. However, Korean people never ever invade even one time to any other nation. God really protected Korea for 5,000 years history. Can you imagine that? So, there are so many wars, and then they really want to run away because anytime we do not know any family member die or not. That's why every morning, just wake up and then need to confirm. My son, my father and mother still alive. That's why every morning wake up and need to check. Are you still alive? That's why Korean greeting. 안녕하십니까? Today, my 안녕하십니까 means your spirit still alive. So meaning is like that, okay? Are you still alive? So we really spiritually have to be alive. His, Hmong group, I worked very closely when I was in Asia. So we met many tribal leaders of the Hmong group in Thailand, in Laos. So I had a very, very beautiful experience with the Hmong group. So they keep really very, very strong tradition. So, but I came to know that so many, our Hmong people living in Minnesota in America. I was so surprised. And then I can feel I am Asian. I can see the Hmong people kind of like the same kind of the identity. Today I am really, really glad to see our Hmong leaders group, especially you also from his wife? Yeah, so glad to see you today. My brothers and sisters, just now I mentioned that, Korea have that kind of the suffering. 이게 need have 마우스가 필요한데. 이거 okay. Wait. Today, actually, I'd like to talk about the great attributes of true love. First of all, I want to introduce the tradition of our founder, Father Moon's family. Korea occupied by Japanese. Korea was the Japanese, under the Japanese colony. From 1905 to 1945, around 40 years. Can you imagine that? We don't have any sovereignty because completely invaded by Japanese. I do not know how many Japanese people killed Korea. And then, we could not produce our farming products because taken by Japanese. They cannot survive, Korean people. So then they want to run away from their hometown. So one of the best way to survive, need to go to near China, go to China. Only that is the way to survive. That's why many Korean people and then really run away from Korea, to survive. That kind of the really incredible suffering and then difficulties. And then at the time, if you have 2 meals a day, wow, you are very rich people. You are very rich. Korean people are always hungry, very poor. And everywhere is a mountain. Our farm is not much enough for the farm, very little, because everywhere mountainous. So beautiful country anyway. But for them not to survive. That's why they really want to run away from Korea and then go to north and finally go to Manchuria. And then many people are living in Korea. Still many people still left in Manchuria and scattered in here and there. So under that kind of a circumstance, Father Moon, our founder, Father Moon keep very beautiful tradition. Very beautiful tradition. So I want to introduce that kind of the tradition here. A tradition of Father Moon's family. Father Moon's family had a tradition of the receiving guests and beggars. Since his great-grandfather Chung Hyul Moon, with the teaching of give hospitality to everyone who comes to our house. People wandering around from Yeongnam and Honam province in southern part of the Korea heading north and to Manchuria, which is near to China, were all given hospitality. The indebted people would offer thankful greetings, and even if the village was out of sight, and they would put their hands together and pray for the family blessings. When a beggar came by and said, "Give me some rice," 3 times, and then nobody responded among his family members, his grandfather would take his own bowl and offer it to the beggar directly. A great person such as Father Moon could be born because of such a family. Therefore, very important here, if you want to receive blessing, you must give a blessing to others first. Very beautiful tradition. There are 3 lessons to learn from Father Moon's family. First of all, Father Moon's family attend and serve people like God. They treat people as God's guests. Does not matter what kind of the color do you have. Does not matter what kind of religion do you have. Does not matter you are beggar or not beggar or normal people, man or woman. Does not matter. They treat each one of the human being as God's sons and daughters. That's why Father Moon already practiced the philosophy, one family under God. This is really incredible. And then someone said, why Father Moon family even really giving the hospitality to the beggars? And then Father Moon said, if God wear beggars' clothes and then visit your home, and then you treat that guy as a beggar and kicked out, you losing blessing. Does not matter you are beggar or not. Does not matter what kind of color you have. Does not matter what kind of religion you have. Does not matter what kind of nationality you have. And Father Moon's family keep this kind of tradition, treat everyone as God's guests. God sent them to their family. That's why they need to treat each one of them as God's sons and daughters. That's why Father Moon's philosophy is what? Here talking about, one family under God. Everybody really understand there is one God and all mankind beyond nationalities, beyond color, beyond any boundaries. If they realize they are children of God, this is the way to really create one world. This is the way to create world peace. Father Moon's family keep thoroughly that kind of the tradition. We need to know about that, And then second one, if you want to receive a blessing, you must give a blessing to others first. Many people think that your heavenly fortune, your lucky fortune, maybe come from by accident, come from sky, or come from heaven, come from somewhere. But Father Moon philosophy is not like that. Heavenly blessing come from where? There is a channel to receive heavenly fortune or blessing. There is a channel. You need to know that. And Father Moon family already start to realize that what is the channel to receive the blessing? Not just only all of a sudden come from the sky or come from somewhere. Only one way. How you get the blessing? You need to know the channel of the blessing. Channel of the blessing only comes from human being. That's why when you treat each one of the human being as God's guest, that's not that you're black people or white people or yellow people or beggar. Anyone come to my family, God, He's the one who sent to my family. I treat them like God. Oh. That's why anyone ignores somebody. You are different religion. You are Buddhism. You are Christianity, or you are Unificationism. Because of the different kind of religion, and they reject here and there. I am telling you, God is not that kind of a God. God is embracing any color, any nationality. God's concept is everyone, each one of the human being, God's sons and daughters. That's why Father Moon have that kind of concept. No, that's why he want to create. How can create one family under God? So here, if you want to receive blessing, you must give blessing to others first. It is really incredible principle. And then third one, love is replenished by giving, therefore it can continue forever. Love is like a spring water. Even though you drink and drink and drink, come out again and again and again and again. That's why love is replenished by giving. When you, the more you give, the more you receive. This is the cosmic law. This is the universal law. That's why throughout human history, okay? Throughout human history, anyone live for the sake of others, anyone give something for the sake of others, they never ever perish. Even though they die, their names still remain. Why the universal law means anyone live for the sake of others, anyone give something for the sake of others, they never die, never perishing, because cosmos, universe protect them. This is a really unchangeable universal principle. Unchangeable universal principle. When you give and give and give, looks like a minus. But the law of law is different. We need to know that. This is a real secret. Many people do not know. If I give, it looks like I'm losing something. The law of law is not like this. Even some scripture mention that here. If anyone gives even a cup of cold water to one of these little ones, who is my disciple, truly I tell you that that person will certainly not lose their reward. It's from the Bible. And then Jesus' disciple, they go and door to door and really try to find chosen people. And then one Jesus disciple came to one home, but one lady is really very, very poor. Do not give, don't have anything to give and serving for that guy. And that woman go to the kitchen and cry, nothing to give. And then she did, and she prepared even just one glass of the cold water with her sorry mind, with her sincerity, and then serving to Jesus' disciple. And Jesus said, you know what he said here? Talking about, truly I tell you, that person will certainly not lose their reward. Doesn't matter how much amount you have. Even though you give a little one, put your heart and your mind and your soul, your sincerity, God never forget. God never forget. Beautiful principle, right? So, today I'm talking about the Father's philosophy. You know, our founder is a really great man. Really, really great man. I really love him. Not because of he had so much conference and create so many organization. Not because of that. I really love his philosophy. Today I'd like to introduce his philosophy. Father's philosophy is living for the sake of others. Very interesting. Many people say, oh, you need to live for the sake of others, okay? You need to sacrifice for the sake of others, okay? But I'm telling you, why he talking about living for the sake of others? Everybody, I ask you, live for the sake of others. What's the reason to live for the sake of others? Ask young people, you need to live for the sake of others. They don't care what that kind of philosophy. And then these days, young people, even secular people, just only think my own sake, okay? Think my own family, think only interested in my own case, own desire, own wishes. Does not care others, right? You need to think about that. We need to know that why We have to live for the sake of others. If you know the reason very clearly why I have to live for the sake of others, if you know the reason, everybody absolutely can follow. That's why you need to convince young people. Not in religious way, like using the of the universal way. You need to convince young people why have to live for the sake of others. Husband, wife need to live for the sake of the wife. Why have to live for the sake of the husband? You know, why children, why have to live for the sake of the parents? You need to understand not just only in an external way. Logically, artistically, internally, need to convince and everybody can practice it. Why we have to live for the sake of others?
Because you have to love that you can love others.
And tell me again.
We have to love that we have to love others.
Yeah, that makes sense. But really, if you explain to the young people, they really can really understand. And then everybody can agree with you. Think about it. Okay, here, how to pronounce your name? Cheng. What do you think? Why we have to live for the sake of others?
Well, we live for the sake of others so that they will live for us in loving memory.
But people, they do not have the experience to live for the sake of others. Then you need to live for the sake of them. Finally, they live for the sake of you. But you understand. But I think that really can convince young people or not.
I don't know. I don't know.
Okay, beautiful ladies.
I don't know.
You don't know. Okay, what do we think?
We live for the sake of other because we love them, and then we have to make sure that our brothers or sisters, it's okay. So to help them, to be there for them, and then let me see. Yeah, so that's why we live for the sake of others.
Oh, yeah. Anyway, thank you. Ja, our Mrs. View.
I think for me, like living for the sake of others means like we love them and we care for them, so they know that there's always somebody that out there for them. That they're not alone.
All right, and then no Vang.
Living for the sake of others, we love ourselves, therefore we love our neighbors. And God created us out of love. So to love ourselves is to love others.
One last question. What do you think about?
You love yourself and you love others and you love
I think you make sense, but I think not much clear. That's why I am here today. Do you want to get answer? Don't want to. Oh, you don't know. I see. Okay. I am telling you. This is a very important question. Why should we live for the sake of others? You need to know that. Love, joy, happiness, you cannot create by yourself. Love and joy, happiness only comes from object partner. For example, all of a sudden, in a big earthquake, more than 90, more than 10, and then everybody die, no one can survive. Everybody died. Only one beautiful lady only remained. Very beautiful, like kind of the Miss World, like like her face. Beautiful. What's your name? Huh? Sai. Only Mrs. Sai survived. Beautiful. Mrs. Otherwise, Miss USA, Miss Universe, kind of. She lived alone. Everybody died. Cannot find any guy. Then, if she can produce love and joy, happiness, no need to have an object partner. And if she, survive 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 1 month, what does she feel? Is she feel lonely or she is happy?
Lonely.
Lonely! If she can produce her love and joy, happiness by herself, not feel lonely. That means you cannot produce love and joy, happiness by your own self. Cannot. And then she cry and cry and cry. Heavenly God, what shall I do? And then one day hear the voice from heaven. Hey, beautiful Miss USA, still one guy alive. And he's in Africa. Do you want to go to Africa? No matter what. She want to go to Africa. Then let's say, finally go to Africa and discover one boy still alive. As soon as she look at him, her heart is jumping. Why? Father Mon said, the nature of love, the nature of happiness, nature of joy only comes from object partner. When you truly love someone, love comes from you. That's why we have to live for the sake of others? Answer is no choice. No choice. Because love comes from object partner. Husband alone, woman alone cannot produce love. This is the universal principle. That's why love comes from the object partner. That's why no other choice. I need to live for the sake of others. To receive love, I have to be humble, I need to serve, I need to be really more about polite, and serving her, then love comes from object partner. This is really incredible philosophy. Right? So, today I introduce one thing based on that philosophy. When I was young, I'm very inspired. Father Mon talking about, what is the attribute of the true love. First attribute of true love, he explained. When I was young, I am so inspired to hear about his explanation about the attribute of true love. He explained this way. A love that seeks to give and forget, to give and forget and give again, that seeks to give or forget, and when it can no longer give, grieves shedding tears. Wow! When our founder, Father Mon, described, wow, this is the attribute of true love. What does true love mean? True love means give and give and give and give and give. And completely forget what I have given and still want to give more. And not enough. Even though you give a lot, but still feel not enough to give love, and then feel so sorry and shedding tears. This is the nature of true love. True love means unconditionally giving. And giving and giving and giving and giving and giving and forget. And then still want to give more. This is the nature of the true love. Unconditionally giving. and sacrifice and sacrifice and sacrifice, completely forget what I have sacrificed, still want to sacrifice more. Unconditional sacrifice. This is the nature of true love. When parents, you have children, when you raise up your children, wow, cannot explain. Parents giving something in the record. Do you know I cook for you today record? Today I gave $10 in the record. Parents, how did you like that? Even though giving and giving and giving. Already forget, I want to give more. Wow. Since I learned from Father Moses that kind of philosophy and attribute of true love, I am telling you, I had life-changing experience. I want to be that kind of man of true love. And giving and giving and giving and giving and completely forget. And I still want to give more. Wow, this kind of a nature of the true love. This is really amazing. This is the way my mom, my daddy raised me that kind of way. Unconditionally giving, unconditionally sacrificing, unconditionally investing. That is the nature of true love. Mrs. Biu, you loving your husband in such a way, giving and remember or forget.
You mean I remember?
Yeah. You know, fallen man is a really different kind of standard, right? That's why, my brothers and sisters, this kind of the parental giving, parental leadership. What's the parental leadership? Parental leadership means giving and giving and giving, unconditionally giving, sacrificing, unconditionally sacrificing, investing, and the other object partner better than me, unconditional investing. Wow. When I just 20 years old, I learned from our founder, Father Moon. And then I came to know that, wow, who is this guy? Since I accept his principle of the universe, living for the sake of others, since he explained about the authority of true love, I am telling you, really impact to my entire life. I want to be like that kind of man of true love. I want to be that kind of the leader in the future. I think my founder, Father Moon, he gave me like a really life-changing experience. What is the life of true love? Principle of true love is what? Give first and then receive. You want to receive first and give. This is the four, Father Moon said. What is the principle of the true love? Always try to initiate, give first, and then receive. Even forget to receive. That's why I'm asking you. You are giving time or receiving time? You are giving time, then there is a guarantee. Your relationship with your spouse, your neighbor, your children, your parents, always developing and growing and growing and growing. Always, better life. This is giving time. However, those who want to take it, want to receive more and more, I am telling you, your life is getting worse. That's why unprincipled love is what? Unprincipled love is what? Take first and then give, or even forget to give back. Always try to receive first. Why don't you love me? Why don't you love me first? Always try to take it. Try to receive first. Centering on this kind of selfish love. And then this is the problem. Why there is the rate of the divorce increasing? Because this do not know this basic simple principle of true love. You need to give first and forget it. And only think, how can I give more? If one person have this kind of attitude, always giving and forget, I am telling you, according to universal principle, definitely return to you. This is the universal principle. That's why fallen man and always try to receive. And then when you give something, remember, okay, I give something to that guy. This person will return to me. Remember and calculate. Remember forever. Once you give, remember forever. Even record. That's the problem. Fallen man, that's the problem. My brothers and sisters, how to make world peace? How to improve relationship between husband and wife? How to create family harmony? How to create our Hmong community become really unite together? Just practice this principle. Try to give and serve as a husband. Try to give and try to serve for the sake of the wife. As a wife, try to give, try to serve for the sake of the husband. As the parents, try to give, try to serve for the sake of the children. As the children, try to give, try to serve for the sake of the parents. Okay? And then political leaders try to give, try to serve for the sake of the people. People try to give, try to serve for the sake of the really, the nation. If we initiate that kind of principle of the true love, you can create family peace. The relationship closer and closer between husband and wife. Just a simple principle, right? Just only simple principle. Give first and forget. Everybody practice this simple principle. Your family is better. Your relationship with your husband and wife are better. And your church is better. Your community is better. Your nation is better. That's why we need to really practice this kind of love. But in secular world, everybody think about me first. Very, very selfish. Anyone try to receive first from my husband, from my wife, from my parent. If you have this kind of concept, how can I take it first? How can I receive it first? If you have that kind of concept, when you receive it and take it for granted, never return back. If you have this kind of concept, I am telling you, your future is really no guarantee. Very, very simple principle. Give always first. The more you give, the more you receive. This is the principle of universe. Understand? Yeah. Thank you for your beautiful smile. And Father Moon said here, human beings were created to live in three worlds. Firstly, we spent around 10 months breathing water in our mother's womb. Secondly, we spent perhaps 100 years on earth breathing air. And lastly, we shed our physical bodies and live for eternity in the spiritual world. Then how can we breathe in spiritual world? We breathe love in spiritual world. Since the spiritual world is indeed the world of love, we cannot live without love. Therefore, we need to live a life of accumulating our actual result of love on earth. Wow. In mother's womb, baby in mother's womb, breathing by water. And the baby come out from the mother's womb. Without air, you cannot breathe. When you die and go to spiritual world, you need to breathe by air, by love. You don't have love, you cannot survive in the spiritual world. That's why 10 months in mother's womb is preparation for earthly world 100 years. That's why something wrong in mother's womb, while baby in mother's womb, then came out from the mother's womb, the whole life is suffering. That's why preparation is important. And then why you are living on earthly world 100 years. But you didn't need to know that this is just only process and preparation to go to the spiritual world. Spiritual world, when you die, enter the spiritual world, not live only 1 day, 1,000 days, 10,000 days, 100,000 days, better in spiritual world. Then, this one, your internal spiritual life only will be decided while you are on the earth. You are on the earth. You need to prepare to go to spiritual world. How to love people. How to love my husband. How to love my wife. How to love my neighbor. Even how to love my enemies. When you have the full of true love and then pass away and go to spiritual world, you can freedom because you have enough to love the breeze, right? In mother's womb, no water, how can breathe? Yeah, or on the earth, you don't have air, how can you breathe? You cannot breathe. Eternal world can breathe by the love. That's why while you are on the earth, you need to practice love. You need to love people. You need to love your husband. You need to love your children. You need to love anyone and then become champion of true love. When you die, you are free. You can go everywhere. Wow. Wow. Amazing. No, many people do not know that top secret. Our founder, Father Moon, he has a special grace, and then he entered the spiritual world. He go to the hell of the hell and go to everywhere he experienced. Wow, he started to realize that many human beings do not know this top secret. Spiritual world, only you can survive. One who have love can survive. That's why most of them go to where? Go to not so good spiritual world. Many people say there is the like what's that? Or what's that? Hell, something like that. Give me some tissue paper. Okay, thank you. So, my brothers and sisters, okay, next content. Today I am telling you very important principle. Then why is giving first and how to gain eternal life? This is a real example. Okay? Many people cannot see. They are the husband and wife. This is a real example. When I was in Oceania, I take care of Australia, New Zealand, Fiji, PNG, so all small island nation. I take care of them. And I invited so many parliament members and even prime minister and women's leaders and bring to the New Zealand, bring to the Australia, educate them. They were so inspired by our Father Moon's principle. And then I brought one guy from Micronesia. He's like a very high level chief, paramount chief. His position more higher than current president because they have the tribal system. And I convinced him to attend our seminar. He's a little bit old guy. At the time, maybe 60 plus, a little bit. And he came to our seminar. And in the beginning, something like, what kind of lecture are you giving? And then he listened and listened and listened. He was so inspired by my lecture. He said, Dr. Young, I am truly confess to you, I go back to my nation, Micronesia, I am like a king. Until now, I do not know how to serve people. Because people serve me. They prepare everything, food and even wearing the shoes by the people. He became a really high level guy. Anyway, he came. Dr. Young, in my life, I never cry. Only 2 times I cry, maybe. First one, I cry. Maybe I came up from my mother's womb, that time I cried. Second time, why I cry? After hearing your lecture, I cried. I really repent. This is a real example. And he's very inspired after listening this, about the attribution of true love. And he go back. And he realized that our love is giving first with sincerity. And this guy really put his almost sincere heart and serving her. And his wife later on joined our seminar in the next month. And then his wife talked to me that since he came back to the home, all of a sudden changed. Character, attitude, everything changed. And he really tried to serve me first. And then I thought this guy is really unusual things doing. Maybe he will die very soon. Otherwise, why he do such strange things, Because, he never served, never give anything for others. But he's really giving to me. And then I was so surprised. And then what happened after I came back from Australia? Who gave this kind of impact to my husband? And then, after, let's say, his husband, his name is Iso Nanakan. He gave the, let's say, 50 amount of love. And then his wife really so inspired. And his wife, okay, you give me 50 amount of love. And then I need to return to my husband. If I return just a 50 amount of love, then my husband calculate. My brother says, love is not calculating. Love is touching someone's heart. So in order to touch my husband's heart, I need to return to him more than 50 amount of love. And then let's say wife return to her husband 100 amount of love. And then this man is so surprised. Oh, I just want to give a 50 amount of love, and my wife returned to me 100 amount of love. Why? What Dr. Young saying, that is correct. The more you give, the more you receive. Wow, this is really true. And then this husband is really inspired. Okay, next time I need to give more. Okay, now I give my wife returned to me 100 amount. I need to determine to give more to my wife. How much amount? And he determined 200 amount of love. And then wife think that maybe my husband only one time give to me, but again give, let's say, 200 amount of love. Wife is so surprised. Wow! My husband give to me 200 amount of love, then I need to return to my husband more than 200. How much you need to give? 500. Wow, you are generous. Let's say 400 amount of love. And then this husband, wow, Dr. Young said, the more you give, the more you receive. Okay, I need to give more. And then husband prepare his heart, 800 amount of love. And then wife, wow, you give me 800 amount of love, I need to return to you more. How much? Double. Expect she amount 1,600, but she returned to 2,000 amount of love. Wow! My brothers and sisters, love is not calculating. Love is touching someone's heart. Really touching and really moving. Love is not calculating. That's why, as a wife, need to think, how can I receive love from my husband? Do not think that way. Every time you need to think, how can I move my husband? How can I touch my husband? You need to think that, how can I give more? And forget, only think, how can I give more? Do not think how much you will receive. Receiving something to you, this is natural. No need to think about it. Just only you focus on how can I give more. According to universal principle, the more you give, the more the love surely can return to you. This is universal law. See? So I'm telling you here. The more you give, then how? The more you receive. Become bigger and bigger and greater and greater. The more you give, become greater and become greater. The more you give, become more great. The more you give, become more great. Wow. However, you receive love, and your capacity of love become smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller on yourself. That's why one who only receive and receive and receive, your capacity of love becomes smaller and smaller and smaller, become very selfish. However, if you know the universal principle of the true love, then you need to practice it. The more give and become greater and become greater and larger and become greater, and definitely you will get it. Father Moon said, even though I give you something, you do not return to me, cosmos return to me. Even though I really put my effort, how much put my effort to give to you, but you do not return to me, God asked somebody to give you. That's why do not expect, even though you give, you never ever lose according to universal law of true love. Never lose. That's why throughout the human history, such famous people, those who live for the sake of others, those who give for the sake of others, their name never forget. This is really amazing principle. That's why I really love our founder, Father Moon and Mother Moon. They practice this philosophy. Amazing? Yes. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Yes. Amazing. Really amazing. So, then why is giving first? Because true love is not that the output is greater than input. The law of the nature, the law of nature, input is much greater than output. I'm using the maximum power. How long can do? After 30 minutes, and then my power less and less and less and less. The law of nature is like that. Input much greater than output. However, the law of love is different. Output is greater than input. You invest 10%, 20% come out. You give 30% and then 40%, 50% come out. Wow! This is really amazing law of the true love. That's why I want to read Father Moon's word. Energy is exhausted as it is consumed. When doing work, energy is consumed. Isn't it so? Take a motor, an example. The input and output of a motor is different. When work is done, energy is consumed, so the output is always smaller. The input is always greater than the output. Isn't it so? It always becomes smaller when work is done. If 100 volts come into a 100 volt lamp, it creates light and energy is consumed. Because there is a consumption is doing work, the output will always be lesser. However, there's one thing in all creation that ignore the law of the dynamics. That is love. What happens to love? When there is an input of the 10 energy, it comes out with plus. When really loving a partner, the energy of love does not reduce but remains forever. Therefore, eternal life for human being is only possible in the law of love. When there is no love, energy is consumed. You have to understand this. Love is replenished by giving, therefore it can continue forever. Without being an existence centered on love, it is impossible to last forever. Wow. The law of the nature, the law of love is different. That's why the more you give, definitely you will receive. No need to worry, you receive. That's the only thing. Just the only thing, how can I give? And then who return to you? You do not return to me, God return to you. The universe will return to you. You need to believe in this universal principle. That's why those who live for the sake of others, they never die. They never die. Even their names still remain. They practice this principle. Many people do not know this simple principle. One who live for the sake of others never ever die. Never ever perish. That's why Father Moon, he was just only 92 years old on the earth. Wow, his achievement is incredible. how his movement spread all over the world, because he truly practiced the philosophy of living for the sake of others, the practice of this kind of the attribution of true love. So, and then today I explained Father Moon's word again here. Very interesting. He said, you have to give with the heart of the parents, or the result will be collapse and failure. You have to give from the position of a servant with total sincerity, shedding tears, and having the heart of the parents. When you give, you mustn't give the authority or with a pompous mind, or it will cause a reaction. Who shed tears first? Not the one who receives, but the one who gives. He should be first to shed tears. That is the parent's position. Wow. What's the attribution of true love? Giving first. I want to tell you, this is my real story. Maybe some of them already heard about it. I want to repeat again. For me, when I was 12 years old, unforgettable experience. Unforgettable. Cannot forget, forever. Just only 12 years old boy, elementary school. I was born 1957, just after Korean War. Korea was so poor. We completely disaster after war. So when I go to the elementary school, I am really country boy. Very remote area. You know, to go to the school, it takes more than 1.5 hours by walk. And go up mountain, go down. Again, go up and down. It takes 2 hours. Then my mother, every morning, 5 o'clock, asked me to wake up. You know, a small boy wake up at every morning 5 o'clock, not to go. But adult walking just only 1 hour, okay. For me, it takes 2 hours. And then my mother said, oh yeah, you need to have a simple breakfast. I took simple breakfast. And then when I say bye-bye to my mother every morning came to me. She said, hey son, I'm so sorry. I could not prepare your lunch box. Please forgive me. In the future, mother, work more harder and prepare food for you, lunch box. I'm so sorry. Hey, okay, my neighbor friend, they know lunch box, it's okay, mother. And then I with my friend and reached my school. My school started 9 o'clock. And then normally finish by noon. First year, second year, third year, fifth year. When I was fifth year, at the time my age was 12 years old. And my teacher, his name is Shin Sung-pil. He came to me. Wow, little young, your Korean writing is so beautiful. We're going to have very soon Korean writing competition. Maybe you can be representative of our class. And then he said, I prepare Chinese ink and then brush and paper, everything. Don't worry. Just lunchtime you come to remain at the classroom. I will provide you. I will teach you, and you can become representative of our class. Sure, I think you can get very good result. Oh, I'm so inspired. My teacher really selling me to practice. Then, after 12 o'clock, all children already go back home. I still remain. And he brought Chinese ink and paper and everything. And then he showed how to practice Chinese character. My Korean character very beautiful. And I practice. He said, hey, little young, do you have lunch? I just keep quiet. He asked me, did you have lunch? He knows most of the children doesn't have a lunch box. Just keep quiet. Few times. Then later I said, I don't. He said, just wait for a while. And he went to his office. And he brought his own lunch box and served me. He said, do you little young? My wife is just so beautiful. She always prepared 2 lunch boxes. One is for lunch and the other one for dinner, because I work so hard. Sometimes I need to have a meal, before going back home. And normally I have one more lunch box at dinner time. So you can have this lunch box for you, and then I go back home and then I can have a meal with my family. No worry, just eat. I'm so happy to hear that. When I open the lunch box, oh my God, rice, white rice there. And then on the top of the rice, oh my goodness, fried egg. I never tasted fried egg at the time. Never tasted. Wow, first time. Small boy, 12 years old boy, in front of my teacher. I eat eggs and rice. Finish it, maybe within 3 minutes, finish everything. And he go back to his office room and come back later. He served me first day, second day, third day, 4, 5, 6, 7. I believe he have another lunch. One day, I'm so thirsty after lunch and get out from the classroom. I want to looking for tap water way over there, quite far. And then one guy stand up there and he drink the tap water. How he did? Drink tap water and then look at the sky. And drink tap water and then look at the sky. Who is this guy? Closer and closer. I recognize that. I recognize that he is my teacher. I realize that he doesn't have a 2 lunch box. He only have 1 lunch box. And he give me. He's also a human being. He's hungry. And he drink the water. Wow. And then I really rushed and run and came back to my classroom. I just cried and cried and cried. I do not know God does exist or not. I said, if really God does exist, Heavenly God, I don't want to be a bad boy. I want to be like my teacher. Giving others first. He really loved his pupil. He really loved his children. He's hungry. Not only one day, not second day, whole week. Give me. Just 12 years old boy. At that time, I have life-changing experience. And then I pledge in front of God. At the time I do not know God exists or not. I said, if really God exists, I pledge. I don't want to be a bad boy. I want to be like my teacher, helping for others and create a memory, unforgettable memory. Wow. That is my life-changing experience. I cry and cry and cry. Later on, when I met our Father Moon, our founder, wow, he really practiced to love. He really practiced to love, not just only national level, not just only family level, not just only, tribal level, worldwide level. He's always give away for the sake of the nation, for the sake of the world, for the sake of the all mankind. I really completely melted by his true love, practicing, living for the sake of others. Wow, this is really big one that really great impact in your life. How much you create that kind of about that, unforgettable memory to others. Father Moon said, if you create at least 3% in your life, 3%, I cannot forget that girl. I cannot forget that guy because he gave me. Because of him, I have a life-changing experience. The Father said, you never ever go to the hell. Because you are the one who practice true love. That's why our Hmong group, okay? Our Hmong group, if we practice this kind of true love, give, serving each other, and our Hmong group become one of the model tribe here. And then other people, wow, look at that. Hmong group, no division. They will unite together beyond religion, beyond anything. How beautiful. How beautiful. That's why I really, unforgettable memory. Okay, here's something here, come on. So, try to give totally. When you give 100%, it is returned to you. The person who gives will never ever perish. Okay? Heaven protects those who give. If you give, you will definitely receive. No worry, how can I receive after you give? No worry at all. I am telling you, guarantee, God definitely return to you. Definitely. No worry. Fallen man, give and remember forever. True man, give and forget. This is different. If you give, power is generated. You no more power, so much exhaust, that means it's a sign your battery is no more. Then how to recharge battery? You need to give. When you give, wow, your power is generating and generating and generating and generating and generating. That's why for me, I learned top secret from Father Moon, our founder. How to not just only maintain your spirit all the time, how can your life become exciting every time, every moment, every day? I learned from him. You need to give. Every day you give. You need to think, how can I give more? How can I give more? How can I give more? When you give, I am telling you, wow, your spiritual life is so exciting, so exciting. You get energy. Why you're so tired? Because you do not give. Tired means it is a sign your battery is no more. How to recharge your battery? You need to give more. You need to give more. This is a simple principle, but I am telling you, this is very, very powerful. Already more than 1 hour? And then only one part I see. I prepared 2 parts only, 1 part. So when you give the most precious thing you have, not left over, okay? Not left over. Precious things. That's why, how I get the energy? How I get energy? Always think, how can I give more? How can I serve this nation more? How can I serve heavenly will more? When you think giving, how can I give more? Then I am telling you, guarantee, your life every day, so excited, so powerful, and so much energy. Energy comes from heaven. If you give more, I am telling you, because I until now I practice my life like that. When you give, do it silently, not advertise. Okay, I am giving this much, and advertise on the newspaper here there, Don't do that. Bible says you already receive over. You do not get anything, any reward from heaven. Okay, this is skip. And then I want to make conclusion. So I'm talking about true leadership. What does true leadership? It's very important. Everybody need to take ownership, right? Father Moore always saying that true leadership. True leadership means, he said, true leadership means we have to be a leadership of the true parents. The leadership of the true parents means parental leadership. Parental leadership means what? Giving and giving and giving and giving. Completely forget what I have given, still want to give more. Secondly, sacrifice and sacrifice and complete sacrifice. Forget what I have sacrificed, still want to sacrifice more. True love always require sacrifice. People doesn't like to sacrifice. When mother raise up children, baby wake up 1 o'clock, mother need to wake up at 1 a.m. Baby wake up 2 a.m. and then mother again need to wake up 2 a.m. Entire mother's life completely sacrificed for the sake of the children. Without mother's sacrifice, how can raise up children? That's why true love always requires sacrifice. This is nature. That's why no pain and no pain, no gain. You need to pay the price. You know, to get true love, you need to pay the price, which is sacrifice. Many people do not know. And then parental leadership is what? Invest 100%, 120% until the dear object partner should be better than me. My children should be better than me. My students should be better than me. That is a parental leadership. As the president have this kind of a mindset, as the governor have this kind of mindset, as a tribal leader have this kind of mindset, then really whole world can be changed. Second leadership is what? True teacher. Leadership of true teacher. Leadership of true teacher is what? Teaching truth. What is good? What is evil? Which way need to go? Need to teach very clearly truth. True truth you need to teach. And also true teacher leadership, you need to raise up your children, your students about the character education. You need to teach what the true character. And then you need to teach them, you need to follow your conscience. Your conscience, your teacher. Your conscience, your parents. Your conscience, your God. We need to teach about the importance of the conscience. And then, great teacher, true teacher, invest everything for the sake of the pupil, and then his disciple better than him. Until that much, teacher need to invest everything. That is the true teacher's leadership. Finally, what the true leadership? Leadership of the true owner. Take ownership. Take ownership. Okay? Ownership means have to be responsible. Okay? And then who is the owner of the destination? We call patriot. Patriotism is loving the nation. He is the one who owns the destination. Dr. Young, even though I am Korean and came to America, I love America more than any American. Even though I have Korean citizenship. And American people say, Dr. Young, you are the one who owns the America. Not because of the passport or citizenship. Who love this nation more than any other one. You are true owner of this nation. And who love the world? He is the owner. You know, the world belongs to him. That's why, my brothers and sisters, who is the owner of this mangrove? Who is the owner of the mangrove? Who love mangrove, man tribe more than any other one? He's the true owner. Who love more the people? Who sacrifice more? Who give more? You are the one owner. Correct? Correct? Yes. So, my brothers and sisters, let me conclusion. What is the Father's philosophy? Living for the sake of others. Everybody practice this philosophy, living for the sake of others. Very simple, but it's a wonderful philosophy. If we create this kind of philosophy in our family, as a parents live for the sake of children, children live for the sake of the parents, husband completely live for the sake of the wife, wife completely live for the sake of the husband, and then people completely live for the sake of the nation of America, America president or prime minister or governor living for the sake of the people. If we practice the philosophy of the living for the sake of others, we can create world peace on the earth. All right? Yes. All right? Yes. Thank you very much. God bless you.